Hello everyone, welcome back to Black Heaven, a necromantic dating sim. Let's go ahead and continue.
Hey, you want to come join my study group for the midterm? We're going to my room to hang out.
Oh, sure. How many people are coming?
Just a couple of people. Some of the same faces from the bar, but there's a couple of new ones too. Why? Do you need a full list of names?
No, it's just the more people there are, the less likely we're gonna get any studying done.
Oh jeez. I'll let you look at my notes, if you're so worried. I've already got all that stuff locked down.
That makes you stop and think. You're still struggling in class, and it would save you from spending another 5-hour session in Rue trying to catch up. I doubt Lisa's study group is going to be very helpful. Taking a close look at her notes would be just what you need. Despite her carefree attitude towards studying, Lisa's notes are absolutely immaculate. You have a sneaking suspicion that she keeps them clean and readable so she can loan them to other people. Alright, fine. You head to Lisa's room with a small group of people. 2 guys and 2 girls, plus you and Lise. You recognize a girl and one of the guys from the bar, as well as Tenza. While you walk across the grounds, everyone seems to be talking about feuds and rivalries on campus. You try to filter it out, but you can't help but notice the smug and disgusted expressions crossing people's faces. In your experience, only one sort of discussion brings up that kind of glee and disdain: gossip.
I don't know if it's true, but it sounds like it. What do you think? You're still pretty close to Izagi, right?
You realize Lisa's talking directly to you. What about Izagi? I wasn't listening.
I heard she's got some kind of bad blood with Ino, one of the girls in your martial arts class. Broke her arm or something. People say Ino's been holding a grudge for a while. There's a rumor that she may try to pull something at the next sparring exam.
Like what? That's what we're asking you. I haven't heard anything from Izagi. I don't know much about Ino either. Told you you didn't know anything. I've been watching Ino. She's been looking at Izagi weird for the past month. The group finally gets to Lisa's room and spreads out on the floor in bed. You take a seat against the wall below the window. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Lise shed her uniform jacket, then grip the bottom of her shirt. One of the other girls hurriedly holds up a blanket to block Lise from the rest of the room, giggling. She shoots a scandalized look at Lise. You see the other guys try to act like they weren't looking, but the girls are already grinning at their bashful expressions. When the blanket drops, Lise is wearing a yellow shirt with little purple flowers. She sits down against the same wall as you, but 6 feet away.
This is what you're looking for, right?
She tosses you a notebook filled with her notes on the anatomy chapters from class. You start leafing through the pages. Yeah, thanks. The next hour passes with Lisa's friends making painfully slow progress through their class material. There's more distractions and sidetracks than actual studying, partly due to the fact that Lise keeps fiddling with the top button on her shirt. Still, you try to push that out of your head. Lisa's notes are laid out in front of you, and it feels like you struck gold. Unlike Rue's rhizomatic chalkboard lectures, Lisa's notes are like instructions for toddlers. After an hour and a half, you feel like you're ahead of the game.
How's it going, Mr. Gravedigger? You barely said 2 words this whole time.
You look up to find Lee's cross-legged and propped out on both hands, leaning over her other notes, which are spread across the floor. Through the collar of her shirt, you get a glimpse of pale, freckled skin and 2 sloping curves.
You gotta be done studying by now. Come on.
I'm, pretty much done. Thanks for letting me look at your notes. Lise raises an eyebrow and says nothing for a beat. Then she sits up and claps her hands together.
Perfect. So we're gonna play a game.
A game?
I'll explain in a second. Just join us in the circle.
You look away from Lise and see that the others are arranging themselves in a seated circle. You set down a notebook and slide over.
Tenza, did you bring the liquor?
Yes, ma'am. Some dark whiskey straight from the top shelf. Tenza pulls out a silver flask and holds it up so everyone can see his family crest etched on it.
Oh, you spoil us. Okay, so here are the rules. Each person has to say something they've never done. If you've done a thing, you have to raise your hand. Then, we see who raises their hand, and they have to take a drink. The game ends when we run out of liquor. Or someone passes out.
You grimace. You should have known this would end with people getting drunk. Still, you've never tasted good whiskey, and can't help but be drawn in by Lisa's upbeat attitude. You decide to stay, at least for a little while.
Okay, I'll start. Never have I ever cried in public.
The 2 other girls raise their hands, giggling embarrassedly. Tenza and the other guy look around stoically. The girls take quick swigs from the flask and grimace, but swallow. The next person in line, one of the girls, says that she's never fallen off a horse. That gets one of the guys, who takes a short sip. That same guy's up next, and says he's never been to Kilkaran. Everyone else, including Lise, raises their hands, smiles, and drinks. You've heard of Kilkaran. It's supposed to be some kind of island paradise frequented by rich vacationers. Tenza looks at you with raised eyebrows, like he's waiting for you to raise your hand. You've never been to the island? When did you go for vacation? Never been on a vacation. Didn't have the money. So I guess you just have fun by yourself, huh? As Tenza looks at you, he mimes jerking off while biting his lip and shaking his head in mock ecstasy. Everyone else laughs and rocks back and forth, leaving you staring at Tenza. The flask gets passed to you, and you look down into its mouth. Never have I ever ridden a horse. Everyone looks at each other with the same incredulous look Tenza had. Elise just smiles and squints at you.
Never ever?
I always walked to where I was going. It's easy in the city. Did you even walk here to Itzan? You look at Tenza with a deadpan expression. What, do you want me to ride an eagle or something? Spend so much money on shoes, why are you afraid to use them? You pass the flask to the next girl in the circle and shake your head, trying to look incredulous yourself. Watch, I'm gonna walk out of this room next. It'll be a fucking miracle to him. Lise bursts into laughter and the rest of the circle joins her, except for Tenza. You look around and smile faintly. It's nice to know that you can hold your own here. When it's Lisa's turn, she runs a pinky around the rim of the flask and looks at you, smiling mischievously.
You haven't drank it all yet, have you?
Not yet. Lise tilts her head back and forth, thinking of the right I never.
Never have I ever spent time in a jail cell.
You chuckle a little. No, Lisa's trying to get you the drink, but you wonder what made her think of that one. You raise your hand and look around. No one else has their hand raised. You laugh, a little embarrassed.
What'd you do?
Which time? Let me go just once.
Oh, you're a criminal. The most interesting one then.
Well, I got thrown out a window. The other person started, but I get arrested for breaking the glass.
And?
Hey, I'm not saying anything else. You're gonna have to pay me for rest. I know you're gonna spread it around.
Bet I can make you a deal. For now, next person.
The game goes on for 5 more rounds, and you notice everyone getting increasingly tipsy and giggly. Even Tenza's dour mood lifts as he seemingly forgets about his little grudge against you. You've taken a couple of drinks by now, and you realize too late that you haven't eaten much of it today. You can feel a warm sensation going in your gut. There's a bit of a sway to your head when you move it. Damn it. I don't want to get drunk around these people. Still, Lisa's bubbly attitude keeps you in a good mood. She always seems to be floating above the conversation, only joining in when something piques her interest. You know that one I never about being arrested was directed at you. You try to think of one to nail with her with. When it comes to your turn, everyone seems to be waiting expectantly, except for Tenza, who's got his eye on Lise. It seems like growing up poor gives you a lot of power to get rich people drunk, and they're expecting to drink when it comes to you. You remember something Lise said to you in the bar. Something about cattle. Her family raised them, or something. Never have I ever slept in a barn. Everyone laughs, although they're a little confused. No one raises their hand, except for Lise. She just stares at the floor with a smirk on her face, working her tongue back and forth inside her mouth as she likes trying to keep cool. One of the girls cranes her neck toward Lise, who keeps her head down.
Alright, you got me, Mr. Gravedigger.
The circle bursts into shrieks of laughter, still wondering if she's joking. Lise has passed the flask and she takes a deep gulp, then another. Finally, she lowers the flask and looks conspiratorially at you. She shakes the flask, withdraws a bit.
Looks like the game's over.
The girls make a unified awe, and you heave a sigh of relief. Lise stands up and puts the flask on the windowsill. He collapses on her bed while the other girls pester her. What time is it? 11:30. Damn. Gotta go to bed. You start to gather up your notebooks and shakily get to your feet. The room spins in a bit, and you feel bile rise in your throat. Oh no, if you leave, we're going to get our entertainment. I want to hear more stories about being a poor gravedigger. Never have I ever had lice. The other guy laughs and Tenza waits for you to say something. His smug, self-confident smile is incredibly irritating. You shrug and point toward the flask on the sill. Neither have I. Thanks for the whiskey. I'm sure you spent too much on it, but who cares? As long as you keep bringing the liquor, people won't care if you're an asshole. Tenza laughs and shakes his head, then shakes a finger at you. Ew. Ew. He reaches into his pocket and digs out a copper coin. He balances on his thumb and flicks it at your face. Here, go buy some new shoes, you piece of shit. This time the girls join in the laughter. Her high-pitched squeals grit on her ears, but worst of all is Tenza's shit-eating grin. You pick up his silver flask and watches his eyes go wide. You open the window and throw it outside before he can stop you. Your Shruggy stands up and stalks toward you. Fuck it, just buy another one. Grips both your wrists. His face is twisted in rage, and you can tell he's going to try to twist your arm. As soon as his grip tightens, you consciously cross your arms in the air and loop your right hand underneath your left arm, the way Izaki taught you. You grab his wrist with your right hand and rotate your left arm, breaking Tenza's grip and letting your left hand come to rest on his chest. It's smooth and automatic, almost as if it's a dream. You feel yourselves taking a step forward into Tenza, then shoving him in the gut. He goes down and you're on top of him. Its hands wrap around your neck, but you're already sloppily swinging his face. Suddenly, you feel a jolt of pain at the base of your neck. Elise is pulling your limp body off of Tenza.
Uh-oh, someone's had too much to drink. Time to go sleepy time. I'll take him outside and get you that flask, Tenza.
Before you know it, Lisa's dragging you into the hall. She lets go of you, shuts the door, then starts talking to you in a low voice.
You're a real bull tonight, aren't you? Find the other big male to impress the ladies? I thought you had a little more restraint. You're gonna get in real trouble if you're not careful.
You stagger to your feet and prop yourself against the wall. You're not sure what Lise did to you, but your body feels numb. You try to keep your voice quiet so Tenza can't hear you on the other side of the door, but it's hard. I wasn't trying to impress anybody. Tenza's a bastard and he's a sore loser. I don't want to be in the same room as him anymore. Get better friends. Just tell me if you want to hang out. I'll hang out with you, but not with them. Not with him. Lise puts her hands on her hips. Despite the amount of drinking she's done tonight, she seems perfectly lucid.
You're putting me in a rough spot because I like you. You're fun and you don't bullshit. I can admire that. But you're still young. I can't just abandon my social circles while I'm still a newbie. Gotta make connections. Otherwise I'm gonna get left behind. I'm trying my best to offer you some ins too, but
I don't want in. I just want... You chill out before you say to hang out with you. Not sure if you want to come on that strong.
Listen. Just play nice for a little longer. Once I'm in a better spot, I can get some of these people all loose. We'll have more time to hang out. Just you and me. But for now, take it down a notch. Go to bed and don't punch any more people. I don't want to add to that reputation of yours.
Lise punches you playful in the shoulder, then heads up to the hall to the back entrance of the dorm. You head to the other end of the hallway, toward the stairwell. You start descending the staircase, but you feel something pulling at you. It's like you've forgotten something, but you're not sure what. Should I be going up the stairs? Doesn't make sense. To get to the bottom, I have to go down. As you walk by one of the windows, you realize that it's pitch black outside. Wait. The lamps out on the campus should be lit. The moon should be out. You look out across the center campus and see dark, rolling clouds overhead. The ruddy orange light of his fire shines across the grounds. Your heart begins to beat faster as you smell the dry scent of ash and see little black cinders bulk against the glass. Not yet. It's not time yet. There's still have time. This isn't happening yet. You run down the stairs, but the stair is pitch black and you can feel your way forward. Going down, down, down. And you realize that there is no bottom. try to turn around and feel your way back up the stairs, but the walls and steps aren't there. From the darkness, you hear a raspy cough, then a voice.
Is that you? So?
You smell smoke and charred meat, then the faint, sickly odor of rotting flesh. Fingertips brush against her back and you spin around. All you can see is darkness, but you can hear Lisa's breathing.
It's not bad, is it? My face? Is it bad?
Her hair is shaking, wet hand takes her palm and guides it to something soft, warm, and sticky. Lisa's cheek. Your hand slides down the curve of her jaw and brushes against something hard. A line of teeth. You can feel the rotted hole in her cheek around the molars.
Oh God, I can feel your fingers touching the inside of my mouth.
You can feel her skin sticking to your fingers and her breath leaking out of her cheek. Shut your eyes and try to say something. Anything to her. You're okay. You hear a flame flicker to life and feel the heat of it on your face.
God, oh God, I'm on fire, so let me out.
It's okay. It's gonna be okay. You hear Lisa's breathing get more panicked. She starts to cough as the smell of smoke grows stronger. She grabs at your jacket, trying to pull you close.
Help me, Yuso. I can't stand.
You stand shocked, stock still in the dark. Her eyes clenched shut as she starts to scream. Smoke and ash fills her mouth and nostrils until you mention black clouds rolling in your lungs, bring out of your mouth every time you breathe out. Take a deep breath in and stifle a cough, trying to focus on breathing the way Izagi taught you. In, out, in, out. You feel the heat from the flames subside and Lisa's screaming dwindles to a ring in your ears. Ah! You jerk awake, then feel your kneecaps hit stone as you clasp your hands and knees. Your bleary eyes open, and in front of you stretches the endless wasteland of the here and now. Oh God. How long have I been? Was I sleepwalking? Or did I just get so lost that I... Uzo. You spin around, expecting to find someone standing behind you. The voice sounds muffled, like it's speaking through a filter mask. But no one is behind you. Uzo! Open the grimoire! You realize that the voice is coming from inside your satchel. You reach in and pull out the grimoire, and carefully crack open the cover. Noise's helmet is drawn on the first page, but moves and shifts like you're looking at him through a pool of water. Noise? Is that you? Of course it's me. Where are you? Did you make it to the surface yet? Yeah. I'm in the, wasteland. Not sure where, but I'm on the way it's on, I think. You think? It's been 3 days and you're already lost? No, I'm not lost. It's just hard to tell exactly where I am. There's no landmarks. The landmarks are gone. Do you know what fucking direction the academy is? Yes, I know that. It sounds like a lie, but as you look around, you can feel the contours of the land slotting into your memory. Even though the road and trees and buildings are gone, you know the way forward. At least you think so. Alright, good. Now, are you busy? Busy? No, not really. Good, because I'm seeing a stack of books here in this godforsaken library. None of them are telling me what I want to know. Maybe you can help. He's asking me for help with his research? What do you want to know? Tissue regeneration. When your fleshy skin and bone body is traversing eternity, there's a phenomenon called chronal necrosis. I call it the potato peeler. Your skin withers off, then your muscle, then the tissue underneath, until it gets to your vital organs. Essentially, the natural process of senescence is happening 1,000 times faster than normal. Understandably, most people find it uncomfortable. So I'm trying to figure out a way for my flesh to regenerate fast enough to offset that decay. You rub your eyes and sigh. You look out across the wasteland and adjust your filter mask. Why don't you just get an artificial body? Something made of steel or something like that. You hear No Eye scoff. I'm a surgeon, not a blacksmith. I don't know how to work with steel. I know flesh. And if you do it right, flesh is a lot more resilient than metal. Look, I'm not an expert in flesh regeneration. That was Rue's area. Let me try it again. Look, I'm not an expert on flesh regeneration. That was Rue's area of expertise. All I know is that there were some animals like lobsters, whose bodies weren't so bound to senescence. Lobsters? Yeah, they could, in theory, live forever. They were given the right conditions, and if you model their growth over time, you end up with a formula. You start to slip back into your memories of Rue. You recite what she told you about cycles, patterns of growth, and how living things could outpace decay. When you're finished, you hear No Eye's grunt. You really got your money's worth from it, son, huh? They let you in on nature's biggest secret. Lobsters. You hear him laugh and sigh heavily. Are you done here? Almost. While you were talking, I was reminded of an old philosophical problem. Want to hear it? Not really. Well, fuck you. I'm gonna tell it to you anyway. I think you'll find it interesting. God damn it. Say you build a ship. Make it out of nails, wood boards, tar, and iron bands. But as you sail it, it gets damaged. Nails fall out, boards crack, and have to be replaced. So bit by bit, you replace all the different parts of your ship, and by the end of your voyage, not a single piece of the original remains. Is it still the same ship? Listen, No Eyes, I don't have time. You shall obviously remember something Rue said. Look in the bin. Where's the house? Do you see it in there? Where's the ship? My mentor asked me a similar question. She was trying to explain how the angers of the soul disappear at the moment of death. Oh, do tell. She said that when the soul looks out of the flesh, it doesn't see itself, it sees the body, and it kind of binds itself to the limbs, torso, the head. Kind of like it's clinging to those things to keep itself grounded. And when you die, your soul leaves the body and realizes that none of those things were it. She said that might be what breaks the ghost's mind. The shock of realizing that you aren't all that dead flesh. So, what are we really? You can hear a challenge in No Eye's voice, like he's testing you. We're souls, divorced from our bodies. We're just souls. What tells you that? Do you feel it deep down in your soul? You pause and think about it. Your mind churns through a few different answers, but none of them seem right. I don't know. You don't know? Huh. Funny how you can go your whole life without knowing. Let me put it this way. When you speak, what's really speaking? My body? My body, I guess? That's what's moving my lips. You're getting too literal, Uzo. Where do your fucking words come from? I don't know. Well, I'll give you a hint. It's not your mouth or your lungs. It's not your soul either. It's your mind. Although with an answer like that, I guess your colon is trying to talk. You drag a hand down your face and look out over the wasteland again. Alright, it's fine. But I'm running out of time up here. Every hour that passes, the cancer's creeping back into me. So let's just stick to the task at hand, okay? I'm not done with our little discussion. I was going somewhere with all this. Yeah? Well, I don't give a shit. I'm standing out here in the goddamn wasteland, breathing in this ash all the time. Even with the filter mask, that's not good, no eyes. Plus the sun is going down and I don't want to try to navigate in the dark. Oh, it's getting dark. Look toward the horizon. The sun isn't setting, but you'll see it and it can get no eyes to shut up. Yes, the shadows are getting longer. Oh, according to my clock, it's about an hour past noon on the surface. Well, I don't. You're a liar, aren't you? What? You're a liar. It comes very natural to you, but I can tell that you practice. You feel a sensation like a cold knife plunging into your gut. Cold creeps across your skin, and across your face as you lower your eyes to the grim wire. I could tell when you gave out your little confession in the library. Most of it was the truth, but I could tell when you were glossing over some really ugly parts. Sometimes when you need a moment to come up with a convincing cover, you pretend to catch your breath to buy time. That's a nice little move. You feel your heart beating faster. A little wave of dizziness washes over you. Couldn't. Now, I'm an excellent liar. I've had to be. Whenever I start my life over, I had to pretend like I didn't know what was going to happen. It's a strange thing to pretend to be yourself. I had to learn to play along, really sell every promise, every handshake, so I can spot a lie. Regardless of whether that's you, is your mind or your soul or your body, that's what you are. Now, if you're the Uzo I think you are, you likely would have felt a little wave of panic, maybe a little vertigo. Know what that is? It's your sense of self cracking a little bit. Just a little bit. People like you can't stand to be caught out. When it happens, there's no way to deny it. That's when you start to unravel. You swallow hard. So now what? Call me a liar, now I'm supposed to what? Relax, I'm not going to tell anyone. There's no one left to tell. We were talking about replacing your flesh, regenerating it. Then I brought up what stays the same. What we are under all that flesh. Are we a mind? A soul? It's difficult to say, but I've discovered something very interesting. Want to know what it is? Yeah, sure. I've discovered that for each person, there's a string of words that can utterly destroy them. You shiver as he finishes the sentence. Not physically, of course. That isn't necessary. I'm talking about who they are. Their sense of identity. It takes a while to figure out the right words. Sometimes it takes a few lifetimes. But the words are there. If you know how to read someone, you can feel them. Sometimes they scream, or collapse, or become catatonic. They can't stand the emptiness inside of them, so they try to jump out the window. What I said to you wasn't quite complete. There's more to your string of words, and I could figure those out if I really wanted to. But for now, I'll tell you this. Ghosts aren't the only ones who break the when they realize that their self isn't what they thought it was. But death, I mean, when you die. There are a lot of ways to die, Uzo. Not just physically. Death is anything that destroys someone. Mortal, immortal, ghost, the living, whatever. Anything can be destroyed. And if you can destroy someone with something as simple as words, what does that say about people? You don't say anything. Go on. Tell me your opinion, Uzo. I want to hear it.
People are fragile. Words are powerful. Words are powerful.
Words are powerful. Why? Because words shape how we see things. No eye size. They do more than that. Words, the stories you tell yourself, shape everything about you. All people are is a bunch of little stories knit together. That's why liars are able to twist people into doing what they want. Are you saying you lied to me to get me to come out here? Oh no, we signed a contract. You'll get your nice little time loop and you'll all get my souls. I just thought this would be a nice little demonstration for you. No ice. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm trying to help you, believe it or not. Help me? How? I started to worry that you might have trouble convincing the ghost to get in the grimoire. Like you said, you're not as adept as I am when it comes to manipulating people. So, I thought I'd teach you about those little strings of words. If you know the right set for the right person, you might have an easier time getting them to do what you want. Sometimes, even just a little single word might be enough. I have no idea what those words might be, but you might. Your friend as you look down at the grimoire. I don't know. Maybe. Well, keep it in mind. In the meantime, I'm going to try out some of these regeneration formulae you taught me. Count yourself lucky that you're miles away. Things are about to become extremely disgusting in here. Maybe I'll do my first attempt in the literature section so I don't get blood on the important material. Who the fuck needs a literature? It's all lies anyway. With that, Noai's face disappears from the page. You slip the grimoire back in your satchel and stand there for a long time. You try to untangle the conversation in your head. Every time you think you understand what Noai's really want from you, you start doubting yourself all over again. You try to remember exactly what he said. Death is anything that destroys someone. Mortal, immortal, ghosts, the living, whatever. Anything can be destroyed. For each person, there's a string of words that can utterly destroy them. Was he threatening me? You shake your head and push those thoughts to the back of your mind. I had to get going. I don't know how far I've walked, but I can't waste any more time. Spend the next several hours trudging through ash and drifts of dust, watching the trances you put one foot in front of the other. As you walk, your mind begins to wander back to Itzan. You can still taste the rush of elation from bringing out Rue's regeneration formulae, and remember the smile on her face when she told you that you were natural. You can still see the shocked expression on Izali's face the moment before your punch landed. Even more, you remember her quiet voice when she told you that you weren't worthless. You can still smell the perfume in Lisa's room, the scent of alcohol from Tenzo's flask, and hear Lisa's laugh. You close your eyes and let your mind slip back into the warm, soft darkness at the bottom of your skull. What came next? I can almost... You open your eyes. You fill your lungs with cold air, then let your breath out in a slow, quivering stream. You feel hot, stinging tears in your eyes. The rush of water fills your ears, and through the haze of tears, you can see faint mist rising out the river. Next to you, you can hear Izagi going through the same slow, repetitive cycle, breathing in, breathing out. Your sweat is already turning your clothes cold and damp. You can feel your heart pounding. You wipe your eyes and desperately try to ground yourself in the here and now.
Are you okay?
Huh? Oh yeah, I just got sweat in my eyes. Izagi searches your face. You realize your eyes are probably red, but she doesn't say anything.
Okay, if you say so, make sure your heartbeat is slow.
You nod and keep taking deep breaths. As your head clears, you remember where you are. The little island in the river where Izagi led you during your first run. You and Izagi have been training out here for a while. Though the sun is out, it's still bone-chillingly cold. Finally, your heartbeat comes down to its resting rate, 82 beats per minute. You breathe in and through your nose and let slowly through your mouth as the last shadows fade from your mind. Turn around and find Izagi digging through your backpack. You smile despite yourself as you glimpse at the two paving stones in the bottom of her pack. Remember how this conversation went. Are those? Did you steal those from one of the paths around campus?
What do you... Oh, these? No, I didn't steal them.
Where'd you get them then? She stands up and stretches her neck to the right, then to the left. In her hands is a cast iron teapot and a pair of wooden cups.
I borrowed them from one of the old buildings. The bricks were already falling out, so I took one.
You look at her and cross your arms. A sly smile sits on her face as you watch Izagi squirm a little.
Fine, I stole them. They're perfect size for my backpack and I needed weights that I wouldn't. I don't need to explain myself to you.
Hey, I'm not going to tell the dean. Besides, I'm more interested in what you're going to do with the teapot.
This? Make tea with it.
Wait, really? I thought you were going to balance it on your head or something. For trading.
That's a good idea actually, but I'm cold. I want something hot to drink. Do you?
Sure, if you're making it. You sit down on one of the rocks and watch Izagi scoop up a pot full of water from the river, then set it carefully on a little tripod of stones. Izagi draws a little spell circle with her finger on the ground below the teapot, and a fist-sized flame appears. Izagi whispers a string of words, and you watch her muscles tense as she's lifting a huge weight. Almost immediately, you hear the water in the kettle begin to boil, and see a wisp of steam rise from the spout. Izagi drops 2 silk tea bags into the pot and sits down, crossing her legs. That's a pretty neat trick. How did you do it?
I made some of my body's energy into heat. It's simple, but I can kill you if you convert too much at once.
Ah, I see. You're always a little thrown by Izagi's nonchalance toward physical injury. It's like she's talking about the weather. After a minute, Izagi hovers her hands over the teapot, as if she's soaking up the heat. Then she deftly places her fingers on the handle and spout. With practical grace, she dips the spout and pours a fingerful of tea into 1 cup, then cuts out the stream by bobbing the kettle up a little. Then she does it again with the other cup, filling it to exactly the same point. Not a single drop is spilled. Watch her eyes and see that she is as focused as a hawk. When she's done, she places the kettle down on the rock so solidly that it doesn't make a sound. She picks up 1 cup with both hands, cradling it like an egg, and passes it to you. You take it and nod silently. When she lays her fingers on her own cup, it's as if the spell is broken. Izagi picks it up immediately and gulps most of it down. All the care, focus, and grace evaporates in a moment. She wipes her mouth with the back of her hand and breathes out a gout of steam.
Ah, that's nice.
What was all that? The tea pouring, I mean. It looked like something you practiced. Izagi stares at you for a few seconds, then tilts her head.
Sometimes I forget you didn't grow up like the other people here.
Yeah, I get that feeling a lot. Guessing there's some kind of fancy way to pour tea?
Not just a fancy way. A proper tea ceremony lasts at least an hour, and that's just for 4 cups. You have to learn how to brew the tea, hold the kettle, and how to fill it, and how to pour without spilling. My parents made me spend 6 years learning how to conduct a tea ceremony properly.
You sip loudly from your cup. That sounds like a tedious thing to sit through, especially for a kid. Were you any good at it?
Mediocre at best. I had to do it for my parents' friends. I hate it. Very, very much. I must smash one of the practice kills my mother got me.
Is that why you're so violent now? Tea pouring as a kid. You smile over the rim of your cup to let her know it's a joke. Izagi gives you a drink. Izagi gives you a grin.
You're not too far off, actually. Part of the reason I came to martial arts was because I wanted to break things. Ah.
What? Bad memories?
I lived under my parents' rule for 15 years. I had to learn calligraphy, how to dance, how to pour tea. They were already setting up a marriage for me. I couldn't do anything I wanted to do.
What did you want to do?
Wander around the woods and go swimming. Just walk around the wilderness by myself with no one else around. And build things like little houses. I'd build them out of bits of logs.
You nod and take another sip of tea. Still burning hot. You don't know how Izagi managed to drink it in one gulp.
Did you ever do things like that?
The closest thing I had to the outdoors was in the streets. There weren't many trees in Senkaku.
Spend your whole life in the city. You never left?
Not until I came here. Trying to leave Senkaku is like climbing out of a bog. You don't really feel like you've left until you can't smell it anymore. Izagi smiles a little at that.
I've always heard it described as a city where dreams can't come alive. All I heard about were never-ending parties.
Visitors only see the parties. People like me are around to see the aftermath, the withdrawals, comas, all the ugly stuff. A lot of people in polite society don't mention the drugs. Can wipe out half a year's pay on 2 nights worth of Tazuma. You realize that your own dourness has seeped into the conversation. Izagi has a thoughtful look on her face, though. She doesn't seem to notice your mood.
When I was young, I always thought it would be exciting to grow up surrounded by a city full of people. Is there nothing you liked about Senkaku?
You sigh. As much as you're relieved to have left the city, you still find yourself missing the little comforts. I don't want to say lucky to grow up there, but I feel like there's something special about that place. It's like feeling that you could run into someone brilliant or fascinating at any moment, because you're at the center of everything and everyone's there. But after a while, you realize that being surrounded by people can make you feel even more lonely than being by yourself. Izagi's unfocused eyes gaze at your chest. She nods gravely.
I felt the same way when I first came here. Everything was so exciting. Everyone was interesting. I'm not afraid to put myself out there and make friends, but I just don't know if it's worth it.
What do you mean?
Izagi sighs and puts down her cup. She looks at you with those piercing eyes. Most people disappoint me.
Not a little. Weathering your gaze and trying to seem casual. It seems like she's expecting you to say something to that. I won't disappoint you. You return Izagi's intense stare and try to look as determined as you can. I won't disappoint you. Izagi sighs, turning away from you and rubbing her arms as if the cold is finally getting to her.
You can't promise that.
No, I guess I can't. I've disappointed a few people in my life, even if I didn't mean to.
Your parents?
No. I never knew my parents. Kind of a weight off my shoulders, actually. I wouldn't want to spend my life trying to satisfy them. I disappointed some friends of mine. I guess I could call them friends. Got into a bad spot and I bailed out. Thought we were all gonna run, but there's a fight, basically, and I left them behind.
So you backed down and ran?
Izagi says it with distaste, as if you told her that you wet your pants or something. Hey, I wasn't being a coward, I was being a realist. We weren't going to win that fight, and I didn't even have my knife.
You fought with a knife? What kind of fight was this?
What do you mean, what kind of fight? It was a street fight.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a duel. Some of these were criminals.
I guess so. You neglect to mention that you and your friends are technically low-level street thugs too. I told you I'd been in a fight before. Here, I'll show you something. You stand up from the rocks and stretch. Come on, stand up.
You haven't finished your tea yet.
You pick up your cup and gulp the last of it down, then give Izagi a thumbs up. You've been showing me all kinds of moves, now I'm gonna show you something. You reach into your satchel and pull out a polished black wooden handle. You lock a clasp and pull out a double-edged blade. In Senkaku, everyone has a flick knife like this. Double-edged, easy to conceal. I never got very good with it, but... You hold the handle so the butt is pressed against the palm of your hand, and the rest is slightly held in your fingers, like a baton. Izagi narrows her eyes and smiles a bit skeptically.
So what are you going to show me? How to stab someone where you come from?
Something like that. You fold up the knife and cradle it between your first two fingers, then take up a casual stance with your knees bent. You can see a glint in Izagi's eye. She knows your relaxed stance is really meant to hide your next move. All the knife slingers in Saki have to say, step in deep, stab deeper. Have you heard of that?
No. I'm guessing it has something to do with striking.
Izagi spreads her legs a little apart, and lets her arms hang at her sides. She watches you like a tiger, dangerous but deadly calm. Close. Stand right there and I'll show you. Stand there a few seconds, looking at Izagi. I'm afraid your little trick isn't going to work, but it's worth to see her excited. By now, she's probably forgotten all about the depressing conversation about being alone here. You take one, then two casual steps forward, almost within range of Izagi's arms. She tenses. You then take a sudden wide step to the right, toward Izagi's flank. Hands rise up to grip your right arm. But you've already taken a deep step straight toward her with your other leg, and your left hand has already darted underneath her elbows. Izagi grunts, then looks down at the wooden handle pressed directly into her sternum. If the blade had been out, it would have been buried up to the hilt. You smiled the look of shock on her face. The two-step. Hard to counter if you've never seen it. You relax your grip on the knife and take your hand away from Izagi's chest. As you do, the top of your knuckle grazes something soft. It's killed a lot of tourists in Senkaku. Izagi nods slowly and pushes you gently but firmly to the side. She begins mimicking you, stepping diagonally outward, then inwards.
Let me try it.
You hand her the knife, which takes up a position across from you a few paces away. You try to stifle your smile. Izagi takes a step toward you, and the big step diagonally to your left, just as you did before. As soon as she brings her other leg forward to step inward toward you, however, you take a big side step to the left and nimbly dodge her stab. Doesn't work on me. Izagi spins on her heel, slashing out with the handle like it's a sword. Her stance is now so deep that her head is low, almost level with your collarbone. Didn't expect her to keep coming after the first attack, so your reaction is a second too late to be graceful. Step into her oncoming arm, lean against her chest and ram your face with your ribs. Your move knocks her out of balance and you make her grab her knife hand, catching her wrist as she topples over. When it's done, you're now left holding Izagi up by her arm while she hangs a half splayed across the rocky beach. She struggles to get her feet under her, still flaying wildly as you strain to hold her up like a mobile. Finally, she gets her balance and stands up, breathing hard. Her hair is a mess and her clothes have been yanked in ridiculous directions. You start to laugh at how silly she looks and Izagi stands there, apparently too embarrassed to move. Izagi's so cute.
Don't tell anyone that happened.